Happy April, everyone, and welcome to the meeting. Business stuff, I don't have a ton of items, and I think we can go through them pretty quickly. Last month, we talked about the bank account authorizations, who is able to access funds for the club. What the bylaws say, 3 group members plus whoever the anyone else the bank requires. What I'm going to suggest is, so that we do this in a predictable way annually, that we designate the 4 elected officers as the people with authorization. Purser will have the checkbook. The other 3 elected officers will be available as backup in case there's an emergency or something happens. Any concerns about that? Okay.
Not a concern, but a question.
Sure.
Didn't you say that you have to be at the bank in order to make the changes?
Yeah, so we are working on that, the mechanics of how we execute this, and then how we do it in some manageable way year to year.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Although we don't have a huge turnover up until now, we haven't had a huge turnover of officers. The titles have changed. That doesn't, require changing things. But we'll work with it's a once a year thing. We need to go, in the past, the people they've opened at 9, we've gotten there on a Saturday and then I've been here in time for the meeting. And we can do that once a year if we need to go with those new people.
Once every 3.
Once every 3, the way so often works. But as long as people are on board with that. Wanted to make sure people are aware that the joint New England Club meeting is next week. I think some people from the club are going. It's up in New London, Connecticut every year. 2 weeks, sorry. Thank you. Kevin's doing his great job of keeping me out of trouble. 2 weeks. I've been to it before. It's a great meeting. I'm going to try to go next year. It's worth the drive, especially if you want to show off a model. Other years, the Deltaville Club has had something the same weekend. Anyone from Deltaville know if there's something happening this year?
There's supposedly a model show, but they didn't authorize it with the club, so there's no model show. Somebody printed it and didn't do it, so.
Okay, simple enough. And any chance in future years if that's going to happen again, have it happen some weekend that doesn't conflict with the joint clubs? Because I think there's people who might be interested in doing both things.
Yeah, we're trying to do it again.
Isn't this done in connection with like Deltaville Days, where it's mainly focused around like a craft show and all the last?
Yeah, once a month they do that, like the big seasoning rollout and all the season rollouts.
And that's always on the last Saturday.
Yeah, but we're trying to work something out, but I might as well have people kneel down and put a gun to the back of their head.
Good. Please don't do that. No, it's against the button.
Any guest?
Oh, I am sorry. Yes. Any guest today? Can you tell us who you are in a sentence or two about yourself?
Sure. Dave Kern. Sentence or two about myself. I was in the Navy a long time, 29 years, 4 months, and 4 days, and 6 submarines. Had the right personality disorder to start social distancing in 1981, and I've always been a woodworker. Carved ducks, built little pieces of furniture, odds and ends, and my goal would be to learn scratch build, but I know there's a path I have to go through to learn those skills. So I wanted to hang out with some people who got some skills to learn.
Welcome to the club. I hope we continue to see you here and at the 3rd meeting if you want to join us. And we would be happy to help you develop those skills.
Great, thank you.
How do I spell your last name?
K-E-R-N. Kilo Echo Romeo.
Said that like.
And then minutes from the prior meeting. Any concerns about those? Motion to approve. All in a second. Doing Robert's Rules of Order here. All in favor?
Better not be, I'm not rewriting it.
No, we're approving your great work.
Another yes.
Oh, another guest. Who else?
Another guest.
Hello.
Craig, you're up. Oh, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, retired, moved out here about 2-3 years ago. Craig Peterson.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, retired out of salt mining out of Nevada. So it's quite an environmental change. Looking for things to do. I volunteer here at the museum as a docent, most days of the week in the morning. And they attend courses over at William and Mary, adult continuing education. Try to keep myself busy. Well, my wife passed away right at retirement, so I am a widowed pensioner. I'm looking for things to do, and I enjoy talking with these men at the modeler. Stop by and see what they're doing on a frequent basis.
Hopefully we'll get you building too.
Is that a Peterson with a send or a son?
SON. Svenska.
And if both of y'all could get with me after the meeting to get your email address, so I can get you on the mailing list.
Super. The next item I wanted to talk about is us potentially doing some sponsorships, two of which we did last year, and one which would be potentially new and I think worthwhile doing. So last year, when the IPMS National Show was in Hampton Roads, we took an advertisement out in the IPMS Journal, and we sponsored a category. This year, it's not local, it's in Fort Wayne, but these things are not expensive. They are opportunities to support the hobby and to keep the club visible nationally. And the ad in the IPMS Journal depends on the size of the ad. Last year, we did a half page, which was $100. There's the option if we want to spend less, given this won't be a big recruiting tool, given that it's not local, we could do a quarter page for $50. And then the other thing would be to sponsor a category. You said it cost $170. Did we sponsor two? Because it looks like it's $90 when I went on the website.
It's possible, Charles Landrum sent me the bill for this trophy package sponsorship.
But I think that would be a good thing to do as well. I looked this morning, there are a number of categories, ship categories that are not sponsored yet. And this is something that if we wanted to do as a practice regularly, if we did next year, we could do one of the more prominent categories. They're not any difference in cost. Best Maritime is usually sponsored by the Nautical Research Guild, so that's not available for us. But whether that's 90, when I went on the website this morning, it looked like 90 for one category. If we wanted to do like last year, we could do two. But again, opportunity to support the hobby and ship modelers across the country see our name. And then the third one, yep.
Having been involved in this before, I know there are statistics available by region for attendance. So you might see if your gene pool is in Indiana. I think they still do that because they like to keep up with it. But there are certain regions, obviously, that are bigger than others.
I think this would be mostly an opportunity to make the club visible. It's not going to be a recruiting tool in any place that's distant from here. But again, is we get people, donating things for auctions. The question is, a lot of that goes to support the club, and we also support the museum. The third thing, the audience that are supporting the parks is a hobby.
I'm with you all the way.
We got a great looking logo.
Oh, yeah.
If you're looking to decide between a full page and half page, those numbers may tell you. If there are 253 people in the mid-Atlantic, in the mid-country region, maybe a quarter.
Yeah, I think they're going to get their usual 800 to 1,000 attendees, which pretty much happens So across the country, there'd be a lot of people walking past the little placard or flipping open the back of the.
You're referring to the show issue as opposed to the
Yes.
regular orders.
So my recommendation is that we sponsor at least one trophy and we put at least a quarter-page ad in the journal. I would also be okay with
Recording in progress.
2.5-page
Second.
ad. Okay. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna turn it into a motion.
Okay.
He seconded it already.
All right. All in favor?
Yeah.
Okay. Any opposed? And then the other potential sponsorship is MSW. And the Philadelphia Club has done this. Until recently, it was all people who made things, but they are opening this to clubs as well. The only thing is I spent a while on the website this morning, and I could not figure out what it costs for a club to be a sponsor and get a banner on there. So unless somebody knows that, what I was going to do is just make sure people were aware that we were thinking of this, because it comes into play as we think about spending money to sponsor IPMS, but come back with something more formal next month. Email somebody at NRG and figure out what the actual cost is.
What's this I know what the cost
Oh,
is.
well, how much?
It's $100.
What does this do?
And
It gets us a banner on the MSW website.
What is MSW for us newbies?
Oh, Mothership World,
Oh.
which is the big the biggest website for mothership holders, sponsored by the Nautical Research Guild.
Oh, really?
A ton of us spend a lot of time on it. It's a really useful website.
Thank you. Gotta type that.
It's
forward.
It's a
mainly-
great question. I'm sorry I didn't make that clear.
it gets our name out, and the banner, when you click on it, will drive it right back to our website. And is it a recruiting tool? I don't know. I don't believe that the Philly Club has gotten any people off of it, but it is supporting the NRG. We are a chapter club of the NRG, which is $30 a year. But this will be another way to show our support for the hobby. It's right now, Model Ship World is approaching 50,000 members.
I'm surprised how many people I've seen from our area on Model Ship World that aren't in the club.
You see
Yeah,
Norfolk,
it's like-
Virginia.
Yeah.
It's and I've reached out when I see these people. And,
I have a couple times.
Yeah.
I think they're introverts.
Yes.
See, I'm a moderator, and
Yeah.
I have access to
Mhm.
to know who these people are, and as far as emails and all. But so far, no. I think he's brought in a few of our members. Yeah, John.
One of the things that I would benefit from, the guys that are just getting started in this are relatively new. The real advantage to me is to look to see what videos they have, how-to tutorials and so forth into it. And really get a lot of good information from these sites. Great place to go learn.
It is a good site. What I like is that you can, if you've been on it long enough, you will see that what kits are good kits to build, which ones to stay away from. It's an amazing tool for people getting into the hobby.
Oh, stop it. You be good.
When I think about, things that as we try to support ourselves, support the museum, support the hobby, this supports the hobby and us in that so many of us use it so frequently. Not a big cost, and thanks to a lot of work over the years, Ryland's great management, we're in a situation where financially where the club is able to do all we want.
And we haven't gotten the treasurer's report, but we can definitely get it.
So do you want to do the treasurer's report now in case that helps people with?
Can I ask a quick question, please?
Who's that speaking?
Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hey, Greg, could you put the meeting back on the main screen, please? All we're seeing here is vendors and services.
Okay.
That's all it's.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Ready. Do you want to do the purses report on it?
Okay, the purses report, starting off with the month of March 31st. We started the month off with $7,704.13. I collected $692 in dues. Proceeds from the book auction were $410. We had one payment for a jacket that was ordered from Lands End for $45.41. And we sold 2 challenge coins for $10. Total receipts for the month were $1,157.41. Disbursements during March were $50 for a coin holder engraving and $13 for a website enhancement. Total disbursement $63, leaving an ending balance of $8,798.54. Very helpful. And I am collecting dues. I've got 7 people that owe dues. And I've got one guy I cannot find, and his name is Wayne Richards. He's not on their website. I've never seen this guy. And I was on vacation when he joined. He gave $22 in cash, and I have not. He has not been back. Does anybody know his email address? Wayne Richards.
I'll look and see if I got it.
Okay. Thank you.
Never made his way onto the roster.
No.
Well, Dave, you've got a mandate to spend more money. You got a long way to catch up.
And I am a frugal person. I don't anticipate coming to every month with expenditures. But these kind of came up, either the IPMS because it's that time of year, and the MSW because as the officers were exchanging emails, it came up with this idea. But my recommendation is, especially in light of the fact that we can clearly afford it, that we invest this additional 100, which would make the spend that the club has approved for the meeting of 209. Do we have a motion?
Yes.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, no more requests to spend money. My last agenda item is Kevin is working incredibly hard to put a fantastic presentation series together. And one of the things we want to do with that, as part of that, is really meet the needs of club members. So we've got people stepping forward to present on all sorts of interesting things, but we do want to open this up to make sure people have things that they want to hear presented, because we've got people who are willing to put presentations together. So just because you have the idea, requested topic, we're not asking you to present on that. I guess that's what I want to say, except for John. Yes, he would have to present on it. So if people have ideas,
Tools and how you use them.
okay, and any specific tool,
First aid.
It could be different categories. Hand tools and then power tools.
alrighty, that we can definitely do.
But a part 2, like where you'd use them, you don't have to like physically demonstrate them, but this would be good for sanding a hole. This would be good for.
So I did chisels last year. Is that kind of along the line of what you're
Yeah,
thinking
but
of?
even like for some of us who are really newbies and I've spent a lot of money on tools, I found out for Gunpla and stuff like that. And as I go do more wood and stuff, I'm finding my tools are very different. And before I spend hundreds and thousands of dollars, hopefully when I renovate my house and have a model room, I like to know what I should have or what I don't need versus, oh, that's a nice, shiny, expensive thing I use once.
That's the nature of tool addiction.
That's Heinz's favorite quote. I don't know what it is, but I have to have it.
I mean, we all do it. I mean,
Yeah, but no, we can put some, I think that's a great idea, and there are actually a few things I was thinking of. If you don't want to, anyone who wants to throw that something out now, we're happy to hear it. Otherwise, if you want to communicate directly with Kevin, either in a meeting or by email, we are really, we would love the presentations to not only be interesting, which they already are, but to meet the needs of a lot of club members.
Actually,
He who dies with the most toys wins.
if you could have meeting again on your road committee. I really like that, but I've forgotten most of it. To be honest.
I guess, okay, so rope making, is that a subject that most people will be interested in listening to as far as the rope?
I wouldn't mind
Not
speaking.
for steel.
you actually do have cordage on steel ships anyways.
Resin.
All right,
Just
there will
to
be.
answer your question, Kevin, yes. And I think to
Well,
take
I
it
still like to
to another step, how do you preserve data? There's a lot of different techniques out there, and just beeswax is all.
Now, with some of the newer polyester, that's,
And taking it to that next step.
And then
Mr.
webmasters. Oh, sorry.
Well, just last week, I thought it was a great meeting. We had a demonstration on skill set. For a lot of us are newbies. I call you guys the model gods. It's going to be boring as hell to you guys, but to us, just like when Gene does his thing every month, it's really cool. For me, someday maybe, God's good. I won't get close, but that's part of once a lot of us are here. So you said it's somewhere we're going to learn is to have these demonstrations.
But that's why we're asking. We want to tailor those demonstrations to what helps people make their models better.
Yeah, for that side of them, might get real boring. Maybe over here, two guys. I don't know everyone.
You would be amazed what this side of the room learns from each of these presentations and seeing how other people do things.
And the questions that it generates, and even the pros.
Well, and one of the best ways to sharpen your skills, even if you've got them, is to teach it. And my presentation today, I know a lot more now than I did 5 days ago when I started writing it up. So there you go.
Great. Sorry, I won't say anymore.
No, those have been fantastic comments that will really help and really stimulate some ideas. So webmasters report, and then we'll do new business, and then we'll be done with the business part of the meeting.
All right, that's why that was up, Tim. I was anticipating being up sooner.
I'm sorry.
Nope, no.
I'm surprising people. I'll come up with that.
No problem, Greg.
All right, so a lot of cosmetic changes. I'll just go over briefly. Some lists, vendors and services is one example. Used to be just a list of names. Now it's names along with their icons or whatever you want to call them. Just a nicer visual presentation. The roster was tightened up a bit, so you don't have to do as much scrolling.
That was nice.
What else? Same kind of treatment on the list of museums. Well, okay, that one's not the tight grid, but the search menus are also more compact on each page. One thing I touched on last time was that in the categories are now better displayed. And I didn't give a great example, so I'll go back to that. So every vendor, every museum, every model is categorized, and it used to be that only and it's a hierarchical nested list of categories. It will only show what you clicked on. So if you went through the list and you said, yeah, it's a wooden kit, and you clicked on wood, and they sell materials, they sell wood, so you clicked on wood, it would just show up as wood and wood as the categories, and no context. So now you have the context. Aside from these cosmetic changes, the more important things are that the add new model page, there is a button here for adding photographs that's not working, and I couldn't figure out why. And with the amazing surge in AI, I'm getting better answers faster. Used to be my only recourse was a chat page that was monitored once a week. So I would ask a question, wait a few days for it to be answered. Didn't get the answer was incomplete, so I'd have to ask again, back and forth. Now I can do in a day what used to take me a month or more. And it's helping me with coding mistakes and all that kind of stuff. So long story short, I'm not there yet, but this page will be more functional very soon. And Joshua's not on today, is he? Joshua Finchman is a member of the Philly Club. It is also a associate member of our club, and he's been asking me for a couple years now about me making a copy of our website for them to use, because he liked the structure of our model pages and our roster. And it's not that I didn't want to share it. I wanted things to be in a better state before handing it off. And all of this AI assistance I'm getting is getting me a lot closer to that. And I also didn't want to copy over the things like, our list of shop notes and vendors and references and museums and clubs and the glossary, because those things should be shared. You don't want them to have their own copy. When they add something, we don't see it. We add something, they don't see it. It's now looking quite possible that I can make our website a plugin, something, as long as they're using WordPress, which is the engine behind this, you can add additional features, basically like plugging in a USB thing. That's the analogy anyway. So we might be able to do that as a service to the other clubs where they get some of the basic functionality of this for themselves, without it becoming an administrative burden for me, which is what I was trying to avoid earlier.
Great,
So-
quick question. So are you saying with the add the model page that you could add your own models, or do we still have to go through you? So we can do it ourselves?
Well, you already can. You can fill out all this information, but you couldn't upload your pictures.
Okay.
You would have to send your pictures directly to me. And there's instructions in here on how, instead of the intention was to do it via the form on the web page. Since that wasn't working, somewhere in here, top of the page, bottom of the page. Yeah, here. Bottom of the page, there's instructions. You see it says you can use add media to add images to the content area, and I've struck that out. And then you click on this, it goes to a help page that tells you how to upload your pictures to my home server. So you don't have to deal with, email attachment limits and email shrinking the picture down when
Okay,
you
so
didn't
you
want
still
it
have
to.
to add it. It's not like you can drag it in.
No. So, yeah. Anyway, but this, if you fill out this form, then you don't have to write out, and I don't have to ask you about, who made the kit, or what scale is it, or what era was it from. Some of the things I've had to
Search stuff.
Yeah. So it helps
Thank
me
you.
out.
On the makers of the kit, do you have multiple choices, or you have to pick one? This kit was built by was produced by so and so when it may have been
It's-
a collection.
Never thought about kit bashing up to now.
Okay.
The way that works, I set it up as either a single select or multi-select, and if you need it to be multiple, it's just one click of a button for me to change it. So I can do that easily.
I'll get with
I just wanted to thank Greg for all the work he puts into this. In doing my homework for this meeting, I spent time on 3 different club websites, including 2 national ones. And when I go to our website, I need to find something, it's easy to find, it's well organized, there's tons of information there. It was almost late for this meeting because things like finding the trophy costs and, when these are clubs trying to get us to give them money, they should make it easy. It wasn't. So a lot of appreciation for what we have here. Any reports that I forgot or new business items?
That's something from old business. Kalen, I think you wanted to say something to Bill Gass. He's online right now.
Oh, yeah.
You want to say something to him?
No.
Oh, okay. Last month you mentioned what he did for you.
You want to thank him for the model here.
Our presentation today, Greg's going to talk about photographing models. Greg, are you ready to go now, or do you want us to take a break while you set up?
I'm ready.
Okay, so let's go right into this, and then we will take the break after he finishes before we go into showing